Hello, good evening. Welcome to the third in our series of the Patient Education Programme, hosted by Hishir International, Specialist Clinics and Research Institute for Misophonia, Tinnitus and Hyperacusis. Hishir International is a multidisciplinary organisation which aims to help you with assessment, management of your misophonia, tinnitus or hyperacusis. Each month, we'll be exploring a different topic within sound sensitivity, aiming to give you a broader knowledge and understanding of these conditions. My name is Joanna Barker, and I am your host for these sessions. I've been an audiologist for the last 12 years, and I'm a specialist in misophonia, tinnitus, and hyperacusis. Sound sensitivities are my passion. I'm really excited to bring these live sessions to you. Today, we are joined by Justin Szilagyi, all the way from Canada, CEO and creator of Quietware Dishes, which is a revolutionary, noise-free, innovative dinnerware product. Justin is on a mission to reshape the tableware industry and reduce the noise levels in complex listening environments such as restaurants, bars, kitchens, hotels, hospitals, and at home. Hyperacusis is a condition when people experience the sounds of everyday life as intrusively loud or uncomfortable or even painful. There's still a lot that doctors don't know about hyperacusis, including how common it is. Researchers estimate that 3.2% to 17.1% of children and teenagers have hyperacusis, while the range for adults is slightly higher, 8% to 15%. There will be the opportunity, as usual, to ask questions after the presentation, so please feel free to post these through the chat function. And after the discussion, we will be able to look at these. Thank you so much for Justin for joining us today. I will now hand over to you.
Joanna, I'm glad to be here. I got a fairly short 9-page presentation here. I'll just bring it up for everybody. Alrighty, so let's get into this. We're gonna do, this is just a little introduction. This is what we got. All right, so here's my introduction. So my name is Justin Szilagyi, the founder of Quietware. It's actually the world's first patent pending soundproof tableware. I personally suffer from an incredibly rare sleeping condition that is aggravated by sounds while I'm sleeping. And this ultimately led to the creation of Quietware. After years of engineering, testing, and prototyping, I finally came up with something cheap, cost-effective, and revolutionary to those who need it. The problem. While there may be many conditions, personal preferences, or other reasons for my product, we are here today to specifically discuss the noise aspect for people with misophonia, tinnitus, and hyperacusis. I get quite a few emails from people with these three conditions in particular. I've learned that people with tinnitus tend to want relief from the dish noise frequencies that specifically trigger the hearing aids, while people with misophonia and hyperacusis just want the general relief from the sounds in kitchens and elsewhere. And since 51% of Americans prefer open concept kitchens, I predict this issue's only going to persist. So the existing options for people are, we got paper dishes. They can change the way they eat or where they eat to try to mitigate the effects, but none of these are ideal. They still don't have a really good quality ceramic dish set at home. So my solution is a regular looking and feeling dish set, but it includes the option of being soundproof with a removable eating mat to insulate eating noise as well as stacking noise. I do this with the removable eating mats and stacking bumpers, which isolate stacking or eating. The silicone pieces can be easily stored if they're not needed. So yeah, in summary, my goal is to simply make the world a more peaceful, quiet place. If anyone has questions or comments, that's what I have. Also, if you actually want to see it, which I'm sure everybody, that's why everybody's here. So this is just a regular porcelain bowl. And this is kind of what we're used to. Now, as you can see right here, I have my medical grade silicone.
Justin, can I get you to stop sharing your screen so we can see the dishes a little bit bigger?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, so this is what I have. This is a regular bowl like you have at home. This is the problem. We're pretty familiar with that. Now this is
Wow.
medical grade silicone. Dishwasher safe, microwave safe. Doesn't really add much cost to a regular dish set.
That's amazing. That was going to be one of my questions, actually. Are they dishwasher friendly? So they are. Do you need to remove the rubber first of all, or can they just go in the dishwasher as they are?
The answer would actually be both, but we are going to recommend removing it just so that there's no chance of anything getting stuck in there.
Yeah. Okay. And do you ship available like what's your shipping like outside of like the US at the moment?
That's a really good question. Right now, I just had a little bit of a hiccup with the inventory. So I'm just trying to sort everything out with my funding partner to get that inventory over to Long Beach. Once I get that over there, I'll be able to ship anywhere in the world.
Perfect. Oh, that's amazing. That's great. Um, you mentioned in your side, obviously, your motivation actually behind creating Quietware. What are your visions at the moment for the future of Quietware?
The future, I see it starting off as a specialty product, and then I think it will grow through word of mouth. And I think that eventually there's a really good chance that this could be more mainstream, even for people that don't suffer with these conditions,
Yeah.
which is also good for the people with these conditions because they can walk into a restaurant and actually relax.
Yeah, definitely. How do you sort of manage at the moment when you're out in places like that? Do you have other coping mechanisms that you can call upon?
Yeah, there's an app called Soundprint, which helps people find quiet restaurants. Um, and a lot of, I actually did some research, and when I was at a wedding and a conference, I couldn't figure out why everybody was yelling. So I showed up early to a conference, and it was before anyone was there, and it was actually pretty quiet. But as people started eating, they started speaking louder to account for the dish noise, and then other people started speaking louder. And then by the end of the wedding, it's a yelling match. But
Yeah.
I was able to determine that the noise sort of goes like this. And so my little trick is show up early, leave early.
Um, that's brilliant. So actually you mentioned this app. So we there's a company, a hearing aid manufacturer called Amplifon. They are available across sort of 26 countries, and they have they've created an app called Listen Responsibly. And the idea behind this program is to create a shared map of acoustic environments. They're working on the ideology that if we're aware of our hearing, and protect it through a healthy lifestyle, we can manage hyperacusis and tinnitus much better. They're promoting downloading the app, making a profile, recording different environments to share with the community online. And then obviously, like you were discussing, you can then use the app to check the noise levels of somewhere that you might want to visit and find out if that place is sort of appropriate for you. Is that something that you're doing and using sort of in your everyday life at the moment?
I'm glad to learn that. That's a really good tool. I've really only dabbled a little bit with that one app, and I did find that it's mostly geared in New York, but I did find that it does work, and I've heard of people using it. Um, for me, my biggest problem is when I'm sleeping. That's where, for my personal condition, that's the one that really, because if I get woken up out of sleep, sometimes I can kind of hurt myself. So
Yeah.
for me, how I mitigate it is I don't want a bedroom that's near a kitchen. That's the big one.
these are the things that we don't sort of necessarily think about until sound sensitivity affects our lives or our families' lives or people that we know. To some, that seems like common sense, but to others, they wouldn't, it wouldn't be an issue for them. And so having, knowing this information, having this put in place is really important. Have you had any feedback from people who've used the product?
Yeah, I've had some just limited testing batches, and it's night and day. It's like I like I said,
Yeah, it's mad, isn't
this
it?
yeah, it's a huge difference. So
How many sort of pieces does your range entail? Do you have like a full dishware set? Are they able to get like a full dinner service?
I'm starting off with a four-piece dish set, which would be the two plates, one bowl, and a mug. From there, I'm going to expand to a standard 12-piece dish set.
Amazing. So that's sort of where you're sort of envisaging the business to sort of go forward. That's excellent. Do you think that these can be used in restaurants and school to make sort of hyperacusis friendly places, essentially?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had the odd email from some restaurants, particularly people that work in some very busy restaurants, and they've said that it would actually make the workers' lives easier. It's actually the workers reaching out to me that by the end of the day, they're just stressed from they have those bins and they stack them so yeah, I think there's a commercial aspect to this in the future.
Yeah. Definitely. And actually, when you say about actually the workers rather than the actual people the visitors, patients who are coming to the restaurants, you're looking at actually how the workers are impacted. The fatigue in working in such a noisy environment because of the dishware, and the impact that it's having on their hearing and the strain that they're having to put in to be taking people's orders constantly over this level of noise, that's a huge impacting factor. So actually that would make, and I'm an audiologist, so I have a lot of people who come into my work who work in restaurants, they're hearing aid wearers, they work in kitchens, and I very often struggle to get them to a place where they're able to hear efficiently to be able to work at their highest productivity level. So that would have a huge impact on their lives.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. As well as I've even had workers that typically would just work night shift and then they're trying to sleep in the daytime. And then the kitchen noise it's not only aggravating their condition, but they're trying to sleep on top of that.
Yeah.
And, so it's a broad range of people. It's very hard to narrow down everybody, but I can definitely say from the emails I've had that there's a commercial aspect to this, and it's going to get there one day.
Excellent. And the most important thing is that these things are out there that we make people aware of the services that are available so that because a lot of the time just people just don't know. So, having that awareness means that people can actually access these facilities and hopefully make some really good choices for themselves. Some patients with hyperacusis complain about the noise made when cutlery hits the plates when eating food. Do you have a solution for that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Each dish set includes a removable silicone eating mat specifically for the utensil noise. I don't have it right now, but it just fits over the bowl and it snaps into place and it just completely isolates the utensil to contact noise. So that's for the bowl and the plate. I haven't made one yet for a cup because I figure stirring tea isn't quite at that necessity yet, but
Yeah.
you
And
never know.
I suppose it's you still have the people using the dishes still have to have some awareness of the people around them as well.
That's right. And it's actually those people who have also been really reaching out to me, the spouses of people with hyperacusis, the spouses of people with misophonia, who just want a more peaceful marriage.
Yeah.
And they're really telling me that it's a real problem. And, nobody wants to have a plastic or paper an odd looking dish set. Everyone wants a nice dish set, right? So, I mean, you wouldn't even know that
No.
it just looks like a regular dish set. It just has the option of being soundproof, right? And that's what I'm really proud of, is that everybody can feel normal. They just have a normal dish set. If they want it to be soundproof, it's there.
Are they easy to take on and off?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect. And you're right, that thought that you just touched on then, that everyone wants to be normal. We don't want to be highlighting to other people that there's something that is slightly different, or that we have a problem with. So actually, if we can disguise that in different ways possible, then that's incredible for our patients. I have another question for you. Some patients use white noise to distract themselves from noises when they go to bed at night. Have you ever tried anything like that yourself?
Absolutely. We've been using white noise in our home for years. My kids can be sensitive to sound as well when they're sleeping, and white noise is a huge help for that. Yeah, it works. I find that it doesn't work the best with dish noise. Dish noise just has that aggravating frequency that it can, if you're in a concrete high rise, there's regular people can hear the upstairs people in the kitchen with the dish noise. The frequency penetrates through the concrete somehow.
It can be heard above all else, essentially, can't it?
Yeah.
And I suppose we all have been in that situation where we've been in a restaurant or a bar, and somebody drops a plate or smashes a glass, and everyone stops, don't they? It goes completely quiet because it cuts above the rest of all of the noise. So, obviously, those sort of situations, it still going to be breakable, but actually having it just goes to show how this impacts everyone, not just people who have sound sensitivity.
Yeah, absolutely. The range of people you wouldn't believe. Um, uh, Law enforcement, people that work graveyard shift. Ironically, doctors and nurses, they tend to work odd hours, and they need to sleep in the daytime in an urban condo where the bedroom can be right by the kitchen. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar condo, but it's still the dish noise still gets right into the bedroom when they're
Yeah.
trying to sleep. And
And it makes you don't
too.
think
Yeah.
about actually that impacting factor of those people who really need their sleep, but life is going on around them, isn't it? So this can have that that really good way of trying to hopefully make it sort of a quieter environment for them, which is excellent. I have another question for you, if possible. What do you think about utilizing the dishware in schools with ASD children? Have you considered them as an audience for your products?
That's my favorite question so far, and I'll tell you why. When I was working on this product in 2021, I actually had a failed Kickstarter. I didn't know that you had to spend 50, 60,000 on a Kickstarter campaign to market it. I just thought, throw it on Kickstarter. I was about to give up on this whole project, but it was the emails from parents with autistic children specifically why I told myself I'm never giving up on this product in 2021. And since then, I've gone full course, and it's now turnkey ready to go. So it was specifically because of that demographic as a father why I really, yeah, absolutely. The parents with autistic children are I would say, the ones most eager for my product.
It must make we've discussed about having that normality, but just being in a house where you can have something so simple that takes away so much distress, and like you said, it impacts everyone, doesn't it? It's not just a person with the sound sensitivity, but how that then feeds out into the rest of the family. And just by changing one simple thing could have such an an impact on the environment, and that's incredible, and must be really amazing to have been able to provide this for those families. Any plans to invent any other quiet appliances?
Yeah, that's another good question. As you recall, the name is Quietware, Quietware dishes. Could there be Quietware other things? Well, the future's unwritten. I'm not stopping. I know that there's a
Excellent.
need, and I'm there. I'm here to help. So I
That
I have a few other products and things that are also aggravating people that are on the back burner.
we often see in our clinics people who struggle with hand dryers, hoovers, food mixers, a lot of normal sort of household appliances. And it can have there are often things that a lot of normal people don't consider to be a noise or a distraction. And so the having somewhere that they can go, obviously using these devices, these apps that can test the environments is really helpful, but actually having places that they can go to actually find devices that are more user friendly for their individual needs would be an incredible help, I can imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even discovered just by um, conversating with parents that have children with autism that color is an issue for them with the dishes. If they don't have blue dishes one day and then the next day, that's a huge issue. So what I would like to do is offer different colors.
Yeah.
I noticed that color sensitivity is an issue with some people. And so it's so easy for my product to change color. So that's something else that I,
And aesthetically, we all choose things for our houses because of different color schemes and things like that. So, being able to provide, like you said, that normality of going, right, okay, this is a dishware that is going to help our whole house because there's sound sensitivity within the house, but actually we can make it look even more normal so it fits in with our color scheme in our kitchen or the rest of the house. That's a really reassuring thing for individuals to be able to have. And again, it's just bringing that normality back to the situation again, isn't it? So that's great.
absolutely.
So there's
You
a
know,
lot.
it, yeah, I honestly think if 1 in 5 people have misophonia, I think that a broad change like this could really impact just everybody in the world, right? We're technically all connected. And so that's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and as I said before, we don't know enough about hyperacusis and misophonia um currently at the moment. So we don't know how much of the population is affected by sound sensitivity. But actually, when we say 5% of patients, that's seems like a very small number. But in terms of the population, that's huge. And so many people are affected by this problem. And like you said, everywhere that you go, where you are around people who are eating, cafes and restaurants, hotels, even as you said, hospitals, where we're trying to recuperate and recover. That actually there's a lot, you have everyone coming around and eating at the same time. So actually, if we can make that a more sensitive environment, that is going to go a really long way to helping those patients, especially in that vulnerable situation that they're already in. It's really incredible, and I'm really excited to see what the future for Quietware holds for you guys.
Yeah, I'm also very excited. I do have a version 2 coming, maybe something with utensils, but for now I'm just starting with that 4-piece dish set.
Excellent. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Justin. I really appreciate you coming to join us and share your quietware with us today. I really appreciate that. I think it's really helpful for our patients to be able to see um, what is available to them. And we will obviously direct them to your website as well. We'll also put the Amplifon information for the Listen Responsibly app if anyone is interested in that one. If you are having any problems with any of the issues we have raised today in our patient education program, please feel free to get in touch with Hashir International. Our website provides lots of interesting resources for patients, families, and health professionals. The main aim for Hashir International is to provide private consultations and clinics, delivering specialist care to children and adults with misophonia, tinnitus, and hyperacusis anywhere in the world. We offer the primary therapy package, which comprises targeted cognitive behavioral therapy for misophonia, tinnitus, and hyperacusis, combined with consultations with a multidisciplinary team of audiologists, psychologists, occupational therapists, and neuroscientists. Evaluated research on this package has shown very good results in helping patients to manage their symptoms and significantly improve their quality of life. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you, Justin. Again, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great to be here. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Justin. I just ended the live stream. Perfect.